Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's Beyond Sports, the podcast where we BS about sports. There is no Tim here today. He's not feeling so well, a little under the weather.
Apparently there's no Sam because there's this fucking guy.
Oh, what? That sounded just like Tim.
That was my best Tim impression. Yeah, I know. That's I've been practicing my whole life, actually.
Yeah.
Known the guy that long. All right. What do we got for the sports of this
There's
week?
nothing else matters. Football is back. I don't care if it was barely a game or not. It was fucking NFL teams,
That's
logos
right.
on people's heads, on grass with people watching. That's fucking football, baby.
We're there, and I thought about watching it.
I had it on while I was at work, and I looked up and I laughed. It was bad.
I watched all of it.
Okay, so you can...
We've got
as somebody who didn't watch, somebody who kind of checked in, and somebody who actually watched. So we'll go, Sam, what do you know about the game?
All the backups played, and not really any of the starters. So,
yeah, my impressions of the game were that every time the Browns had a positive play, there was an illegal formation, a hold, or a drop.
mm-hmm.
And Zach Wilson threw a pass that I wouldn't have been embarrassed to see my quarterback throw.
I did see the nice Zach Wilson pass.
Yeah.
The huge bomb.
He had an NFL caliber throw in the game. Sneaky,
yeah, okay.
You watched the game, you paid attention. Let's hear your insight, buddy.
Well, apparently Aaron Rodgers called that play.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. Aaron Rodgers called it right. Okay.
Good for him. Good for him.
You guys hit the highlights. That was about it.
The one highlight. Yeah.
God damn, just so many screens, so many screen passes. Screens.
Yeah.
No names I recognized outside Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean, most of these guys are going to be cut by the time the season starts. Like
by the time the preseason starts for some of them.
Yeah, by this time next week, a lot of those guys are going to go. So
yeah, I didn't judge either side based on what I saw. So
that felt good.
It's the preseason. Never judge any team by anything that happens.
It felt good though.
It is a little. It's kind of sad that you can't go out there and run the most vanilla shit and find any success, because that's what they're doing. Like they're just running the most vanilla shit in their playbook.
Yeah, say the defense knows exactly what you're doing.
They're not going to get any calls away in this game. Like
they're going to see if anybody can make a play, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, preseason.
It was. I like it. I like it because it's a reminder at the literal start of every year that, hey, I know you love football, but sometimes it's going to fucking suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the whole.
We're planning on breaking your hearts.
Yeah. Here's that thing you've been waiting for 6 months.
To
give you the literal worst possible game of the season.
At least they get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I always kind of look at it like everything else has a big weekend about it, like draft day weekend, Super Bowl weekend, Pro Bowl weekend, Hall of Fame. This is part of its weekend. You give them. That's what this is. It's just an event for people who are going to see the enshrinement. So they want to put on football. So it's just a version of football played the way it would have been played decades ago, without all the good hits and the talented players.
Fucking put them in leather helmets. Let's do this shit for real.
That would be awesome.
I'm expecting them to put them in those giant training camp.
Yeah.
Whatever pads.
The helmet dome.
Yeah, that thing.
Speaking of old-time football, I learned today that the Kansas City Chiefs in 1969, I think, Hank Stram drafted a dude who was like 6'9". I can't remember his name, but wasn't very good at football. But like a 6'9" dude was pretty rare at the time, like a big athletic 6'9" guy.
Yeah.
And so he drafts this guy, and he wanted him to try and swat field goals. Like he would put him all the way down the field and
Makes
have
sense.
him try and swat field
Yeah,
goals.
why don't you block?
I don't think he was ever successful.
Yeah.
He's the reason that there's a rule against it now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Hell yeah.
I wish he was successful at least once, and somebody's like, okay, fuck this.
Yeah. For real. But it's probably better that since it got banned that he was never successful, so then it wasn't known as like a rule used to stop that dude. Which essentially it was, because it's fucking
Yeah.
bullshit.
I think it'd be way more exciting if you could do that.
Dude, it would be. It's like in the NBA, like if you like goaltending. Like after I like the European I like European rule where it hits the rim and then it has all no matter where it is, you can fucking go for it.
go for it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, in the NBA, you can't go
That's
for it
exciting.
after if it bounces off the rim and goes straight up. And I'm
You
like,
have to
man,
wait
fuck
till it's
that.
like outside of it just a little.
Yeah. I just wish they would just be like, like European rules on that.
Yeah, just go after it.
It makes for a lot more exciting game. Like
Except for when there's that ball that's like bouncing around. It's like, is it gonna go in?
Kawhi Leonard's shot, Philadelphia would have fucking probably won that game. They would have at least gone to overtime.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, maybe not because Embiid was the guy who tried to block the shot or was out there.
Oh.
Yeah, doing that with a
MVP.
No, he was trying to block the shot. No, I'm just saying like that's what it's essentially, it's obviously way harder to do in football because you see most of those kicks, they aren't right at the goal line post.
Right.
I mean,
they're a good 10 yards up above that.
That's why I like say let it like it'd be so situational and weird and awesome if it happened.
Oh yeah, dude. It'd be a one in
flying across. Wow.
Yeah, especially like think about it. The NFL, you're just letting them have fun at this point because if the ball's kicked that low, it's probably gonna be a miss.
Yeah,
it's gonna doink off that motherfucker.
Throw in a block to make it interesting.
Exactly. Let the dude have some fun.
Not necessarily our kick to win against Philly was just like that. Like it just went over, not against the Bengals.
Yeah. Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Suspended 3 games for brutally beating this dude along with his buddies at a Las Vegas nightclub, strip club, elevator.
Friends.
And that happened before the start of last season.
It was during the Pro Bowl, before the Pro Bowl of last season. Right?
Yeah.
So
like a year ago.
Over a year ago. Yes.
Yeah.
But they let the legal process play out on this one because, right? Didn't they? I thought it just got settled. Or
yeah. I think so. That's what's going on here. And you got a whole 3 games for putting a man in a hospital.
Thank God it wasn't a vacuum.
Jesus Christ, I mean that that can bring us to like our next suspension, right?
Menahu.
Chiefs player Menahu getting 6, right? After domestic disputes. I heard that, she got pushed. There weren't any charges actually filed in this one, I don't believe, on suspension of misdemeanor domestic violence. Which is not good, right? Obviously bad.
No, yeah.
But then 6 games where you're like, okay, the last guy put the man in a hospital and beat him to death, or almost beat him to death, like 3 games. It's charges aren't even pressed. Games. Deshaun Watson, who sexually assaulted over 20 things. Okay, what was it? 11 games? Not even twice. What? See, it's just the NFL.
Willie Gay breaking a vacuum. 4 games.
breaking a vacuum is 4 games. A vacuum is more important than a human. Like this is
So
the
what?
NFL's
So
just-
what you're saying is there's an imbalance in the punishments the NFL is handing out
NFL is
now.
This is a big complaint the NFL gets with their punishment seeming very random and like you
Sam,
can't argue. What the fuck?
Kamara rolled a nat 20. A Minihue did not.
And then you did not.
Yeah.
Willie Gay fucking botched that shit.
It's hey man, it don't make sense, but whatever. And then we see week 7, I guess. Probably
Yeah.
don't do that ever again.
Yeah, Carlos Dunlap.
By probably, I mean absolutely.
Hey,
Don't do that ever
buddy.
again. What?
Said
Carlos
Carlos Dunlap. Hey, buddy.
Why don't you come back over, guy?
We can't do shit unless we do the Jones extension.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah. Our pass rush is
No cap space.
will you play this season for $50? Chris Long once did it for nothing.
Guaranteed no money.
We will not pay you this year, but we'll give you a hug.
I mean, come on.
Love
just
and
get-
support.
Again, another week. You know, now it's getting like, let's get the Chris Jones thing done, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So maybe we
I'm-
should
I'm
just jump
even.
right ahead. No, let's let it build for a minute. Okay, let's let it keep building. And Sam, let's go completely away from Chris Jones and go to somebody who's feeling that way about their career, Carson Wentz.
ooh, yes. I
Posted
saw
a hideous photo of him wearing an Eagles helmet, which I just never wanted to see again.
It looks like
him.
a game parlay.
A fucking yes, he does. A fucking Commanders practice uniform jersey and Colts shorts. So he didn't just torture one fan base today; he tortured 3.
He had to remind all 3 of them.
Yeah, he's like, hey, in case you forgot, I was here. And what I have to say is,
Andy reminded the rest of the league of how much he's been passed on now. So, like, why would they want to? Why
yeah,
would they really want to go grab this guy? You know, the guy that's been on 3 different teams in the last 3 years. Yeah, let's hop on him.
yeah.
Let's make it 4 for 4.
Yeah, I mean, maybe when the inevitable week 6 Jimmy G injury happens, he'll get a phone call from the Vegas Raiders. Any
Yeah.
other situation? Can you think of one? Tampa Bay's, if both of them, if Baker Mayfield looks like Baker Mayfield from last 2 seasons,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
Kyle Trask, if he looks worse than Carson Wentz has the last 2 seasons, they might
So-
call
okay,
theoretically.
how bad are the Bucks going to be?
Oh,
Probably
they have
Pretty
at least,
terrible.
but they have good enough receivers to where I think that the team could win 6 games. You know,
But
like
that's all they won last year, basically.
exactly. So like that's a bad team, but it's actually a team that it's one of the
Okay.
worst positions to be in.
It
Yeah,
is. And then how long is it before those guys say, I don't want to be thrown to by Kyle Trask. Like,
I
I'm sorry.
mean,
you know, you're my boy, Kyle.
in there to
Or the
and
thing, but, you know, like,
one thing working in the Bucks' favor is these guys did catch passes from Jameis Winston or attempt to. I mean, that guy was literally throwing to
Okay.
the blur that looked like his teammate,
Here's
his
the
team
thing.
color.
Here's the thing. Like, yes, I know Jameis Winston. We've got a lot to
But
say.
they had Tom
about
Brady
that.
to follow that up.
Okay. But he at least could throw 30 touchdowns while throwing the 30 interceptions. Like he could at least the wide receivers would get day ball sometimes too, right? The wide receivers are like, okay, either it's me or them, but if it's me, like, you know,
You got me there, Sam. I don't think Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield combined for 30 touchdowns this season.
I don't think so either, man.
But I do think they both play significant. I do think that their totals will be combined for sub 20.
Yeah,
And that'll be with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans to throw to, just proving that they both fucked up. Like they knew how old Tom Brady was and they still chose to re-sign.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it was good money. You coming off a Super Bowl high, you know, they throw money at you. You know, Tom Brady's like, I promise I'll be around one more year. And then he's like, no, I did. No, I am. I'll be one more year.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got from Carson Wentz to here. That's what happened, right?
Yeah, because I mentioned that the Bucks are gonna
Bucks
their quarterback play is gonna be pretty bad this year.
could.
I mean, but
I still don't think you call Carson Wentz. Like we've seen enough. Everybody's seen enough.
I think we have. I agree, but I mean, last year we saw like obviously you hope it doesn't happen, but a situation in LA, Matt Stafford were to go down again if their backups proved to be as bad as they were the year before. He made that move for Baker Mayfield. Maybe he'd be willing to take the chance on a Carson Wentz. It would have to be the right situation with the right head coach for it to even be considered. I wouldn't want it to be the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not saying that.
Ooh, Ryan Tannehill get hurt or something?
Well, they've drafted a quarterback and highly enough.
I already forgot that they've done it twice, 2 years in a row in like the second round now.
Second and third, right?
Or third, I don't know.
They're going higher each time, so next year they'll go in the first round whenever they realize they got another bust.
Yeah, I mean they're like, okay, well Tannehill literally cannot play for us anymore.
Yeah, like Tannehill, you are gone. Go away.
Tannehill is going to be like, and can you believe I got you to give me that contract, right?
Yeah,
he's like, dude. I got you to one AFC Championship game where we didn't get embarrassed because
I think Tannehill's going to juice him for another $40 million a year contract.
Who? The Titans?
Yeah, the Titans. When have they ever made a good decision?
That you're right on that.
That's true.
I
don't think
no arguments. I mean,
they may not make the same.
They fired Jeff Fisher. Yeah, I know. It's 7 years after the fact that they should have. You're right.
They should do it soon enough.
Yeah. You're right. Because he coached there for like 12 decades. He did get them to a Super Bowl.
I told everybody for years, man, that guy just looks like a cunt. I was like, oh, hear me, jeez. It turns out that guy's a fucking cunt.
No arguments.
No arguments here. He looks like a cunt, though. He does.
Yeah, he just looks like he sucks.
Yeah. Kind of like Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels, I just look at him like, I fucking hate the way that guy looks.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels has a very punchable face, just in general. Yeah. Like, if he was a wrestler, he'd be a heel 1,000%. Like,
oh, yeah. He'd be the Miz.
Got the face for it, and yeah. Anyways, yeah, Carson Wentz. All right, we did.
Yeah, Carson Wentz. Stay off Instagram with shit like that. Don't bring back memories of you as an Eagle.
People are gonna shy away from you.
Hopefully, he's not one of the quarterbacks on quarterback.
Nobody wants
that would be funny to watch an unemployed person for a year.
Should we?
Yeah.
Slowly give up week by week.
I mean, at the rate in which they're going with the quarterbacks, he might be their only option.
Carson Wentz slowly dying on the inside week after.
Episode 6, he's got a gut and a PlayStation controller.
Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so.
Carson? Fuck off.
I mean, he got enough money from he fine.
Yeah.
Jesus loved him enough.
Jesus loved him.
Jesus, loved that bank account of his.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody wants to follow Patrick Mahomes in Netflix quarterback.
Well,
how could you?
It seems like a rough job. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, they asked him, and he's like, this is only I'm only going into my second year. It wouldn't be right.
Not pretty much, yes.
Well, the Urban Meyer year doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Nobody counts it. That actually sent him further back. Some may consider this his rookie year again, which is an NFL record for most rookie years by one quarterback.
Urban Meyer sent him back to college, and he got to the playoffs. So.
He sent him back to fucking freshman year of college almost.
No, he at least redid his rookie year, right?
Yeah.
He did his rookie year.
Dougie P put him on that express train to start him.
I get that. I get why no quarterback quite like that, like unproven quarterback would want to do this.
Yeah. Be hard to do. I mean, I've tried to think of 3 people to do it. I mean, obviously, last year I wouldn't have picked Marcus Mariota to be somebody to watch, and It turned out I would have been right because he was not worth watching.
Yes,
Some- maybe they'll slim it down and only focus on 2 quarterbacks, which wouldn't be a bad
they
thing
really
because
could, if they find the right two, though. What if it's hard to?
I mean last time they just kind of found 2 and then a third guy to take time away that they could have spent focusing on the other 2.
The other two, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Marcus Mariota, like nothing against the guy. He seemed like a nice dude, but like the most boring person in the NFL, I'd say. There was
Yeah.
nothing and
I wonder too, like if anybody, like if they had footage of other quarterbacks last year and they were just like, this was too boring, like there's no storyline here, or if the team at the end of the day shut it down because of whatever.
nah.
Because it sounds like Peyton Manning gave the teams and the player like a lot of leeway with what they were allowed to say. No, you can't put this in.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Because you're going throughout the season.
I think the problem is that they just blew their load season 1.
Yeah.
Like you did the best quarterback in the world and he won the Super Bowl. Like, how do you follow that?
Nah. I mean, you have to land somebody like Joe Burrow, but now with him dealing with
I don't know.
I don't think you win a Super Bowl, but I think that's your best competition if you got him or Josh Allen to say yes.
I don't think he has enough personality
Yeah,
to carry.
I agree. I'd say an interesting one would be maybe like a Colt McCoy if they do go with the 3 quarterback method with the Cardinals, because I really want an up close and personal look at the 0-17 Cardinals.
Yes, we all know you need that sex appeal. You got to go Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
You gotta get Jimmy G.
Jimmy
Look,
G's the Kirk Cousins.
Even if he's not that interesting, he's gonna be nice to look at, and
Jimmy
you
G and Derek Carr.
take that into account too if you're wanting those views.
Yeah.
I'd like to
see
see
about
Josh
that.
Allen too.
Josh Allen, Derek Carr, Jimmy G.
I mean, if you have Jimmy G and Derek Carr, you're kind of having 2 very similar-ish. I feel like I don't. Okay,
But they're also, but the cool thing about them is they're both that quarterback. They fit both the mold of a Kirk Cousins and a Marcus Mariota. Because they both have had like Jimmy G. Sneaky's going to back me up 100% when I lay this out because it's going to make so much sense. Jimmy G has been very successful on the football field with his team. His team has had success with him out there.
He's taking his team to.
He hasn't gotten a credit similar to Kirk Cousins for the success that his team has had. Not as much as Jimmy G has had. But this is probably also Jimmy G's last shot in the NFL.
Jimmy G doesn't have anything to, Kirk Cousins probably has better stats overall.
Yeah. But Jimmy G shines way better in primetime and in the playoffs. When those bright lights hit, he's able to will his team to win. It's almost Tebow-esque with how poorly he throws the ball and still finds a way to win sometimes.
Yeah, it's great.
Did
it like 6 times in a playoff game and won or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Some bullshit.
Yeah. I mean,
I think he didn't even hit 10 completion or 10 attempts maybe.
Yeah.
And they like blew out the Packers, right? That was the first thing. Anyways.
Yeah, so I'm just like those, I think they'd be interesting because like Jimmy G, we'd also get his deal with his injury saga because he's always hurt. And how he goes about preparing to stay hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr, he would give us a different twist because he's a quarterback in his first year with a new team, back with the coach that drafted him. It'd be a different take.
Jimmy G's first team, first year.
Yeah, but I'm feeling like we'll see Derek Carr longer in this series than we will Jimmy G. Once Jimmy G gets hurt, he probably isn't going to be on there much.
Probably right.
Like a Marcus Mariota, once he got hurt, he got
benched.
He got benched on the show.
And that's Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. So, and Jimmy G isn't going to be in the most stable situation for winning. So.
Yeah, I don't know. They probably don't go after Jimmy G because he's constantly injured in the first place. So
no, and I agree. It would just be interesting.
It may be funnier if they got Deshaun Watson.
Oh God.
Nothing but a course of booze.
That one would legit be interesting as fuck to see how that guy lives with what he did.
Yeah, I don't want to watch him.
No, I wouldn't watch it.
No, nobody. Yeah, that would
present
just
himself positively at all.
such
What about
bad-
Dangerous? What about Dangerous?
Dangerous? I would watch. Just that would be.
Do you think
too
they'd put
fun.
him?
That should be too.
Sean Payton would shoot that shit down in a second. Imagine if
That's
Never let it
imagine
happen.
if Sean Payton shoots down all this other shit Russell Wilson did last year just to allow him to do the quarterback show. Holy shit, that would be fucking hilarious.
You'll also never see Mac Jones.
No. Do we want to?
No.
Talk about fucking snooze fest.
Yeah, and maybe that's a problem.
McCorkle.
Eventually, you run out of interesting names.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, I
Tua
think you
could.
probably eventually just have to start doing it like with rookies.
Tua,
But man,
Tua,
as a
Tua
rookie,
gets-
you probably want to do it even less.
Yeah,
oh,
you're just getting acclimated to the league.
do not do that. Do not. They shouldn't. They should not try to.
Let's make it the Patrick Mahomes season 2 then.
Yeah.
How can like? All right. I mean, it would be. I don't think you can't really follow up that season. You're like, oh, I have to win league MVP and Super Bowl MVP. Like,
Hey,
Yeah.
like it's not like even Patrick Mahomes is like, okay, that one's gonna be tough to one up, guys. You got like,
it's Pat and Travis. It's the Dukes of Hazard, man. Like they're
you
gonna.
know, he's like, I led the league in like every passing stat, and then won. I did all the individual and team things.
What if
All-
it's Aaron
all of
Rodgers?
them.
What if they do Aaron Rodgers and they're already them and Hard Knocks are filming at the same
That would
time?
actually make a lot of sense.
Why not? You already filming?
Yeah,
Them
you
being
already.
mad, them being mad about Hard Knocks would just be like cover.
Yeah, because he's doing both. New
Just to
quarterback
fuck
and a
with
big.
everyone.
Yeah,
Would just fuck.
it's because we've heard all we've heard of the people who said no, which is right now Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence are the most recent that I've seen.
Well, everybody's gonna have to say that they turned it down.
Yeah. So, because Josh Allen, quote unquote, doesn't want any outside distractions because there's enough internal ones. They don't want any external
believe-
ones entering.
I believe nothing that comes out of the Buffalo Bills' mouths at this point. Like
Okay.
No. So,
the offseason they've had.
yeah, it's,
Definitely
everything's fine. It's going
it's totally
okay.
cool with Stephon Diggs.
We're doing great. I promise. I'm not jumping through a table. You're jumping through a
Through a
table.
Everybody jump through a table.
On a count of 3.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, they'll get someone, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully at least 1 or 2 extras. Because you never know. You don't know you're gonna get a guy who's just like he's a quarterback, not like a personality. He's not,
Yeah, and I
he's
mean,
not- he didn't get all the accolades that year, so his season wasn't particularly interesting. So there's nothing to like,
yeah.
it's kind of like Hard Knocks, like, sometimes you get the Detroit Lions,
And
Uh,
most of the
but-
time you get the fucking
the Arizona Cardinals,
God damn, that was
you
so
know,
bad. That
like
was so fucking bad.
it's, yeah. So
At least they had JJ Watt announce his retirement, so they had something interesting happen. And Kyler, no, that was boring as shit. Seeing Colt McCoy and
yeah, I mean,
McSorley.
anyways, should we go on to
McSorley threw the ball McPoorly.
very McPorley?
Well, let's talk about how bad the Cardinals are going to be.
Okay, yeah,
First,
Oh boy.
dude,
tank.
is this the first 0-17 NFL team?
They might sneak one out. I haven't seen their schedule, but
Oh.
they get to play the Rams twice. So. And
That's a fact.
And I think the Rams are
gonna
gonna
try and milk the whole season
right.
on that
Yeah, like
injury, or is he gonna try and come back halfway through?
no, you take a year off, my guy. You are planning for 2025. 2024. Yep. 2024.
Okay, so
I do math.
Whatever.
their first game is against the Commanders. So yeah, I guess I would say that I'd pick the Commanders. Second game, the Giants. I'd take the Giants. Cowboys. I'd take the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Niners. Take the Niners. Bengals. Then they get the Rams.
So maybe.
Maybe, but at this point, we're talking about a team
Our
that's
best
gone
chance since
1,
the
2,
Commanders.
3, 4. Oh, and they're 0-5 at this point.
A lot of teams have been 0-5.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of teams have been 0-5.
And it's at the Rams. It's not in Arizona. It's at LA. Then they go to Seattle. Then they get Baltimore. Then they go to Cleveland. The Falcons.
We don't know how bad Cleveland will be by then.
Yeah.
It's Cleveland. You get
Cleveland.
the Browns. You get to play the Browns. You got a chance. All I'm saying.
True. True. History gives you a chance. Then they get the Falcons. So as long as, which is tricky, just make sure that if you're going to get down to them early, make sure they get up by at least 20 and you'll win.
What Falcons are we going to get?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Then they go to the Texans. That's a very winnable game. A winning streak possibly here because then they get the Rams to come to them. And I think they're more likely to beat the Rams at home than away. Then they go to the Steelers, have the Niners, the Bears, Eagles, and Seahawks. So maybe not 0-17. You're right. I think they could start about 0-10 though. Before they hit that stretch of I think their best shot for some wins is that little stretch they had in there.
You know, and hey, look, just
I don't think I can name a single Cardinals player on offense.
St. Louis Cardinals. Talking about right now. What are we talking? Did we just
Other than Kyler?
Did we switch to baseball?
They have Connor at running back.
I said
James
a single
Conner.
Cardinals player, not a St. Louis Cardinals player.
Yeah, James Conner,
Or a St.
back.
Louis or
Arizona.
either team. Just like
Yeah, I'm stumped after one. So
That practice video was not good.
dude, that one was fucking hilarious. I was like, you would have called for delay a game. You would have gotten sacked.
No, that was a free rusher to the quarterback. Yeah.
What was that throw? Everything about it was awful, dude. Like
right at the defender. So he didn't even realize he had defended the ball.
Yeah.
Like bounced off.
The defender was trying to get out of the way and it still hit him.
And it still hit right.
He was ducking it.
Yeah, dude, it was.
You threw it so well to the other team.
Hey, we get to play them a week from today.
Good
Love it.
practice.
Unfortunately, on their field.
Oh shit.
Mm.
Are we
Right.
playing? We're playing our starters too, aren't we?
Butker and McDuffie last year.
We're going right back. We do not play our starters game one. Like, come on, Andy. I mean, I know Andy likes to give the rest at the end of preseason, and they're only 3 weeks now. So, it's only 3 weeks now. Oh,
They're playing. Unless they
Well,
have an
you know.
injury designation, I think they'll be
Yeah,
out there.
We'll see who makes it out of there with their ACL intact.
yeah.
As long
We
as
have to go
it's
back to. Why does the league? Hey, keep going back to that field. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess it was okay. I guess it was okay. We did win both times. We won a Super Bowl on it. Never mind. I mean, it's kind of like but still,
like a little
that-
tour, you know. Yeah, but all right, it's gonna be the hardest one for you, Sam. What's your worry meter on this Chris Jones situation?
I mean, I'm not like I still think one gets done because I do think Chris Jones wants to stay here. Although he does want a lot of money. If it doesn't get done by the time the regular season starts, then I'll be like, well, we probably don't have Chris Jones next year, guys. This is it. Enjoy it while you got him. That's when my worry meter is all the way to the red. But for now, it's just like bridging the yellow a little. It's just like just a little in the a little in the yellow. Of like, let's get one done. I'd like to see one done. Right? Get him a little, get him a little time before the season starts. So like,
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. I was a little more worried than you when it
oh,
started.
he's
Like
all the way in the red.
I started pretty damn close to the red, Sam. Like I was like
Okay.
when the whole before the holdout, whenever he didn't show up to OTAs, I started like I was at yellow. Then he doesn't show up to camp, and I'm at orange. I'm fucking orange right there. And yeah, it's gone from orange to red. Like I don't think he's a chief next year. I've seen this play before. I know how this one ends.
I'm actually with you, Sam. I'm still feeling pretty good that a deal gets done. I think this is mostly Chris Jones just doesn't want to do training camp. And this is like he's not the first person to use this tactic to stay out of training camp because they don't like training camp.
Yeah, and I mean it's fair enough. He doesn't need to be. He's somebody who can
Yeah,
miss
like-
training camp and be fine.
What I mean, yeah, how like he knows the system.
The all good things must come to an end text. A little worrisome unless you're like he's just talking about his summer vacation coming to an end, guys.
You
Oh,
also you
it's
also
been
know,
days
Chris
now,
Jones
you're
well
like-
enough to know that you should know that you're getting trolled. Like
But yeah, players love to play.
Yeah, they do. But
he
Yeah.
also had the handshake emoji with DeAndre Hopkins
Yeah, so I mean, what
on Instagram or whatever. So,
am I supposed to believe there?
but yeah, I'm with you. If there's not a deal done by the season, he's 100%. This is his last year.
Probably.
I
Probably. And that okay.
But
And if that's the case, and he's done, just think about the money that it does open up for your Nick Bolton and maybe Sneed now. Maybe I know we've got so
Not
many corners.
Sneed.
We probably okay. We
it's
don't.
not
pick
gonna be
Sneed.
fucking
Okay, sorry,
Sneed, dude.
Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Joe Tooney, who's coming up. Like those very like man, our interior line is the best in the league, bar none.
I
Keep
don't
that shit
think
intact.
I would love to keep Joe Tooney, but I don't think they will.
If we don't keep Pierce Jones, you better find a way to use that money to keep.
With how well they draft O linemen, they'll just be like, nah.
Maybe Willie Gay as well. Did we mention Willie Gay?
Yeah, I'd like to see Willie Gay stay on board. I'd like to see him keep. I honestly want to keep Snead. I just know there's no fucking way.
No, we're not going to
Especially-
pay a corner, especially with all the good young corners.
Yeah. I mean,
But nobody plays the position like he does.
no,
Like
I agree.
he does. You don't just find him like there's not just another guy that can do the blitzing and the cover and all the coverages and
Yeah, I'm on board.
like hit like he can. Like he's our hardest at. Like the dude's pursuit is insane. Like that. Do not run a screenplay his way. Like he gonna blow it up every time. And I mean, I saw McDuffie do some of that, a little bit of that last year, but not to the level. That
Nobody's at Snead's level on that. He's so
So,
wise with it.
he plays that
Um,
position. Like you kind of want all your guys to, honestly.
Yeah.
He very much reminds me of the Seahawks.
Legion of Boom type
Legion
guys.
of Boom. You know what I mean? Like even if they weren't knocking it down, they're on you right away, immediately tackling you. You get like a 3-yard fucking gain. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're not going to spend the money on Chris Jones, you've got to spend it on somewhere.
Patty is not going to take this discount for long if you don't start spending it to get some guys his way. Now, I mean, you did just win a Super Bowl. You've bought yourself a little bit of time. But if he sees Chris Jones walk and you not, like, you know what I mean? Like the fans are going to be mad. I could imagine Mahomes is also going to be like, "What's up?
Come on, guys! Like, come the fuck on! Like,
unless we keep winning Super Bowls, and then it's fine." Right?
Well, like I was telling P earlier, I kind of feel fine, whichever way it goes. And it's really just I'm trusting Veach that he's making the right call because there's a long history of defensive tackles, even the greats, at age 30 falling off of a cliff. So
What's Chris Jones like? 28.
he'll be 30 after this season.
We're not going to keep him, is what you're saying. We're not going to keep him.
I'm not saying
Plus-
we're not going to keep him. It's just
No, he's getting
Does-
DiCaprio'd right on
does-
out of here.
does Veach think he's going to stay productive after 30?
Speaking of dudes who don't like training camp, like Kadarius Toney and Chris Jones, Joe Burrow, who hates training camp, he did it his rookie year, vowed to never do it again. He got out of it last year due to an appendectomy. The year before that, due to recovery from a torn ACL and MCL. And this year, he's doing it because of a hamstring issue. And Jamar Chase does not want to play with 70% of Joe Burrow. He wants to play with 100% of Joe Burrow.
It's quite, yeah, man. To say that you don't want your quarterback out there till like week 4, right? Week 4 or 5. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think Jamar Chase has had this injury,
Yeah. I think he had it last year.
and he understands like it can cascade into a worse injury
No, absolutely. And
if you don't rehab it correctly.
I think Jamar Chase is also speaking to him as a friend. They go back, they played in college together. So they do, I'm sure this is his friend. He's like, dude, don't hurt yourself over this shit. So
yeah, okay, makes sense. I mean, I get it. It's probably good advice.
yeah, absolutely.
Don't have Joe Burrow for the first 3 or 4 weeks.
They'll
Makes it that much easier for us to grab that 1 seed.
you'll still win your division probably.
Yeah,
no
you'll win enough games to get you.
No offense to Baltimore, but after week 6, the past couple of years, that's when they've kind of fallen apart.
Oh yeah, I didn't forget about. And so, you've got
and then
the Steelers.
Cleveland. It's hard to believe their quarterback has the respect of the entire locker room on a man level.
Yep.
The Steelers quarterback can't even grip a football. His hands are so small.
Hey now.
They're huge.
I mean, I don't know. Is he
Kenny Pickett had his hands measured really small at the combine. It was
well?
I want Deshaun to be on quarterback so I can watch all of his teammates awkwardly turning his offers down to hang out.
No, Deshaun, we won't go to the massage parlor with you. Quit asking.
Oh no, man! I was gonna clean my house tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
that's what the kids are calling it nowadays.
But anyway, it's time, boys, for the off-season question of the week. What team isn't going to live up to the hype this year? Or what isn't going to live up to the hype this year?
But yeah, okay. Anything.
Not team.
Player,
What isn't going to
coach.
in the NFL? What isn't going to live up to the hype?
All right, sneaky.
You can give more than one example if you so choose.
The Buffalo Bills.
Oh wow, petty. Come on, man. No.
But is it wrong?
I don't know.
It may be petty, but is it?
Coming from Chiefs fans, it seems petty sometimes. But I mean,
Whoever we say is going to sound petty. Like
that's true.
True.
Not well, but the Bills especially. Ooh.
I also low key think the Eagles could. I don't think they will, but they could. Just because they're still very much stuck on the Super Bowl.
It was like I was telling you, I would be a little more worried if like the players who were in that Super Bowl weren't bothered by losing a close game. Especially when Mahomes has come out and said, like that sticks with him more than the wins is the loss to the Bucks in the Super Bowl. And yes, I know that the Chiefs went in with injuries on their O-line, but
no, I get that's how you should be, right?
Yeah. The losses tend to stick with you hard, and
They stick with you worse than Got to motivate you.
and shit. Maybe Jalen just thought he looked fly with confetti falling behind him while he was on a field. He didn't care what color the confetti was, dog.
Didn't
Come
care
on.
there was a loss and he had a big frown on his face.
Yeah. Sam, what's your team? What's your thing that's not going to live up to the hype? We're done with sneaky.
You know, I mean, it's kind of easy to say the Jets because it seems so kind of obvious that like, they probably won't live up to this hype. Like they've got Super Bowl aspirations or even like deep playoff aspirations, and you're like, I don't know, man. Like, might sneak into the playoff. I don't want to be somebody who just shits all over them. But
Here's my thing with the Jets. The Jets seem like they have way too much talent to really like truly fuck this up like real bad.
I mean, they didn't do terrible.
The 20
last year.
the
It's
2012 Eagles.
It's honestly
Dream
just
Team Eagles.
it's
The
only
Dream
Aaron
Team
Rodgers
Eagles.
that I'm worried about.
It's not Aaron. It's Aaron Rodgers and his dream team that he brought
Yeah,
along.
the
with
Dream
him.
Team Eagles. It didn't work either.
Like, I don't know, man. Go for it, Jets.
Yeah. We already
Yeah.
know Nathaniel Hackett isn't going to be able to gather that. Like, he wasn't able to get the group rallying when he
But
was
he's
in.
not-
I mean, but it's not his job
Yeah.
anymore as much.
But-
so that's
But Matt LaFleur was an offensive-minded head coach. When he was with the Packers, he had an offensive-minded head coach. Then
yeah.
he's with a defensive-minded head coach. So typically, your offensive coordinators have more of a
It is him.
head
who-
coach of
Rodgers
that.
hated LaFleur and loved Hackett though.
Well, because Matt LaFleur held him accountable, and Nathaniel Hackett let him do whatever the fuck he wanted. Isn't
Yeah.
that the type of person that Aaron Rodgers has proven to like? That's what he seems like. If you
That's
let him
every
do what
time, every
if-
time they've asked Aaron Rodgers about Hackett, he's like, he's the most fun coach I've ever had.
he lets me take
There's lots of
ayahuasca
fun.
whenever I fucking want, dude. Like,
Yeah. He's specific, like every single time he specifically says that he is the most fun coach he's had.
yeah, because he's not being held accountable by him.
Matt Hackett tells me how good I am all the time.
I think,
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers can hold himself accountable
I'm a
at this
special
point.
boy.
Yeah, should be
That's
able
the
to.
way.
Yeah, so for mine, I'm gonna pick a specific group, and I'm gonna say that the upgraded wide receiver position of the Baltimore Ravens is not gonna live up to the hype.
Okay.
Because they are they always
Odell,
draft
you
they
don't-
always draft the wrong receiver in the draft. They drafted a receiver in the first round. They've never drafted a Pro Bowl receiver in the first round of the NFL draft.
Did they take Zay Flowers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr., I hate the signing for $15 million when he didn't play football last year and he's consistently hurt. And I know I'm not knocking the guy, but everybody knocks Jimmy G for only throwing to the middle of the field. What is the favorite spot of Lamar Jackson to throw? To wherever Andrews is at, in the middle of the field.
Okay, fair enough.
Whenever he throws the ball deep, it's down the seam, down the middle.
I don't think anybody else can really get open though.
That is true, but yeah, like I said, I don't think that this is going to make that as big of an impact as everybody thought.
That's fair.
So, but I think we did it, boys.
This could be the year where everybody finally like, okay, maybe Lamar's kind of normal.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being that. I think that he is better than Michael Vick. I think that he works harder than Michael Vick did at it. Vick didn't study and all that, but I just don't think we're going to see Lamar Jackson playing in February.
It'd be hard to see.
Yeah,
I don't want to say never, but
it feels like never.
It'd be hard to see the Ravens carving a path to the Super Bowl.
no, probably not.
Yeah.
AFC's tough, man. AFC's
Yeah.
so tough.
For real. But yeah, I think we
Yeah.
did it, boys.
I think we're there.
As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video with a friend. Maybe 2. If you have a third friend, share with them. Yeah. If you have 4 friends, keep all 4 of them by not sharing it to all of them.
Oh, we'll be like live reaction.